Part 2. With the speed of a new sports car whose limits you decide to test on a sunny summer afternoon, countless thoughts shot through my mind at the exact same time. The proverbial puzzle pieces raced toward their rightful places faster than my head could really handle. And the itch from earlier transformed into a pulsating pain that reminded me of a glowing nail patiently being drilled into the back of my skull. Questions piled up and faded again to make room for new ones, until after a while, two kept on rising to the surface. How did he know my name? And how had I gotten here? I tried to stand up, but I couldn't. By that I do not simply mean that the act of standing was difficult, but that every limb, every muscle, and every fiber of my body refused to respond to the commands pulsing from my brain. "That's not going to work just yet, Jim. Not until you remember." "Remember what?" I asked as small beads of sweat formed on my forehead and my breathing became faster and shallower, catching in my throat. The man, in complete contrast, seemed to find all this a humorous spectacle, while his eyes sparkled and the corners of his mouth made no effort whatsoever to hide his emotion. If I could simply tell you that, there would have been no need for all this fuss. My heart pounded faster with every beat, and what had been beads only seconds ago had now turned into what could almost be called a river of perspiration. I could no longer keep my eyes fixed on one point for more than a few seconds, and my mind swirled from the weight of all its thoughts. Why couldn't I remember anything anymore? What was it that I could no longer remember? "Take it easy, Jim. No one gains anything from this," said the man in black, sterner than I had heard him until now. I tried once more to stand up, but nothing happened. I tried once more to remember everything, but nothing happened. Nothing except that my head, as far as possible, became even fuller with my endless questions. Where was I? How had I gotten here? The music, which together with the whispering wind until now had been the background of this spectacle, began to thunder louder and louder through the open space, while it distorted under the immense force with which the familiar notes were being pushed through the tiny speakers of the radio. Slowly an image began to form, far within my thoughts, the puzzle almost complete. I slowly began to remember empty fragments, but the essential questions of time and place were still just beyond my reach. In the distance I heard the tapping sounds of drops against a window, and I smelled the scent of leaves, slowly mixing with the moisture of fresh rain. At the same time, my eyes in every direction saw nothing but the sun warming the earth. Perhaps my mind had finally broken. "Good," said the man in black, softly but with a certain excitement, barely hidden in his voice. "Just a little more. You're almost there." That music grew louder once again, but this time there was a second sound blending into the background of this unbearable cacophony. Ding, ding, ding it rang, and with every repetition the fear filling my chest grew stronger. And just beyond me, wherever I looked, the glow of red lights pulsed with every ding as my face slowly grew wet. When had I started crying? I did not hear the train approaching as the man in black slowly stood up, and the music crossed the boundary of what could be endured. The only thing I could hear was the icy scream of iron scraping over iron at high speed, and in the long-awaited silence, while everything around me faded into darkness, I heard the man in his black suit one more time as he walked away. "Maybe tomorrow, Jim. We're getting really close." So I keep my gaze fixed on the clock as the hours crawl by. When is that damn train finally coming? I ask myself out loud as I wait for the radio to turn itself back on again.